Welcome back, everybody. When shooters become efficient with their metal sights and they want to upgrade to a red dot because it gives you a better field of view in the market, it is hard to make a good decision due to the overflow of brand specification and options to fill all purposes and budgets. Most of all, today I'm gonna be introducing to you the Holosun 515GM as a baseline option for red dots for the majority of shooting enthusiasts and hunters since the beginning. When it was shown by retailers, this red dot put a lot of pressure on other brands like Aimpoint, Sig Sauer, and EOTech used by professionals. Many years ago, it was also adopted with the Holosun 3X magnifier by the Estonian army. When you receive it, this is that's what you get on your mailbox. You're gonna remove the cardboard, and this is the plastic container itself. Really good, 5-star for presentation. They didn't go super cheap on it. On the inside, you're gonna have the foam thing for cushion. This is your warranty card for your registration with its serial numbers. This is the warning for cancer. Yeah, everything gives you cancer nowadays. This is your manual, which I always throw away because I'm that guy doing his video and going back for specifications and how to use every item. I really don't keep any of these around the house. You're gonna have a cloth, lens cloth for cleaning your lens. I'm notorious for touching the lens. I don't know how, or I have the power to always get my lens with my fingerprints all over. You're gonna have this is the T10L key for adjustment the QD on the bottom of the red dot. They kind of come off every 800, 1000 round. I don't have any experience with it, but I have the feedback from other people just to keep an eye on it. I like to do a witness mark on all my nuts just to make sure they're not gonna be moving with their corresponding use. It also comes from the factory. They come installed. I removed it because I don't have any use. I've had this for a year and 2 months, and I had I would say 400 rounds through it. This comes from the factory install. I do not need it. This is the so-called flash kill. This is for militaries, officers when they're doing observation or doing their jobs, and if a lot of armies, they use the so-called infrared flash. They send one long range flash, so whoever is not using those the flash killer is going to be reflecting back to the whatever equipment was able to send it. It comes from the factory with the CR2032 battery. This is the same battery that is used in your long range rifle scope, but it's also pretty much the same battery that is also used in a lot of low variable power optic, the 1 to 8, 1 to 6. It is really a lot of logistic compatibility when you're getting this one. A lot of people like to mount this red dot on top of their scope for the close range engagement because it's lightweight. It also comes with just a silica package, and this is all what you get from the factory. The specifications, number one, the weight. If you follow my channel, you know I have a weakness for lightweight stuff. When I go to the range, I like to do a practicing on my reflexes, on my drawing, on my accuracy. I do not go for a workout session. So if there is something lightweight, that's gonna be my bait. I have a tendency to buy, before I buy anything, the first thing that I will be asking is gonna be its weight, which is gonna be 3.74 ounces. This is even lighter than your Aim.22. That's why a lot of people they even consider this one as a Chinese cheap copy of the Aim.22 without all the hardcore heavy duty specifications, but it will get the job done for the majority of the civilian hunters and armies that are in a short budget. The other thing that I really enjoy about this one, it's gonna be the window size. On the front, it's going to be a 20 millimeter when compared to the Aim.22, which is only 18 millimeters, slightly smaller. The 28 on the gathering of lights when using a night vision for the passive night vision view. Generally speaking, you have two types of night vision capability. The active, when you're going to be using a night vision flashlight that is going to be sending the light and you can see through with your night goggles. And then you have the passive, when you're just looking with your night goggle through the red dot or scope or whatever you're. This one is not going to be on pair with your big boys over there, but for the majority of the people, it will get the job done. The water rating for this one is going to be IPX8, which is it's going to hold water for up to 1.5 meters for as long as 30 minutes. It's not going to be your super heavy duty type of guy. It's going to be parallax as free as long as you're going to be aiming at your target for over 15 feet. If you're aiming at your target and you move your eye around it, you're going to see how it's going to dance a little bit. But that is mostly the majority of the red dots. Even the aim point is going to give you some within 10 feet, you can see a little bit of parallax. Most of them over 15 feet, you're clear to go. Besides, in reality, 1 inch or 2 inch in the chest shot is not, I mean, I'm all right if I can make it, if I survive. Or in a hog that is charging at me, 1 inch or 2 inch difference when you shot at them charging at you, I'm all right, I'm alive, I survived. I have no inconvenience. The eye relief is gonna be infinite. It doesn't matter if you put it all the way to the front of your rifle, the upper receiver, all the way to the back. A lot of people also use them for shotgun because they have a two reticle configuration. The magnification from the factory is going to be only 1x. You don't have to worry. A lot of people buy it in combination with the 3x magnifier from Holosun. I also made a review on the magnifier. You go ahead and check it on my channel. It should be on the optic reviews on the list. The battery life, as I mentioned, it's going to be for a CR2032, which is very common. Under laboratory condition, on the perfect condition, it's going to be up to 50,000 hours, which is the equivalent to approximately 5 years. That's in the perfect world, in the perfect condition. In real life, every time the batteries are exposed to cold weather is going to take a toll on your batteries. So be careful. As a rule of thumb, I'm always replacing all my batteries. I know every 4th of July is going to be battery replacement for every 2.5 years. That's what worked for me. You do yourself, you know. I don't want them to die on me if I ever need to draw these because I'm gonna need it. However, I always like to run metal sights on all my firearms just in case. This red dot, they have the shake awake technology, and it's going to be if you let it on, it's gonna auto shut down, and if you shake it again, it's gonna be come back on. At the beginning of the recording, you noticed that if you pay attention. I thought I had turned it off, but I wasn't sure. The brightness setting is gonna have a 8 daylight setting and 2 night vision. The housing material for the whole red dot is going to be 7075 aluminum, which is the same aluminum that is used for AR-15. So they're extremely well done. It's going to take a lot of drops. It will take a lot before you crack them. A lot of the people, too bad they only come in black, but a lot of people, they just spray painting, which is going to be my case. I'm going to go all the green. One of the main reasons that people buy this red dot, it is because it's mounting hardware, which is okay. It's not the lightest, but it is exactly the same pattern used for the Aimpoint T2. If you have any Aimpoint T2 mount that you would like to use for this one, it is exactly the same one. The night vision, is it compatible with the Aimpoint T2, excuse me? Absolutely not, you know. There is a gun channel, it's a Hop, H-O-P. He's got a lot of good gadgets. I would highly recommend you to go check it out. I think he does a comparison. Yes, it will never be as endpointed to, but for me, for my budget, for my occasional hog hunting, hunt defense, I'm not gonna be doing running 9 hits or anything. It will get the job done for my level. The installation is gonna be, first of all, you're gonna clear your weapon. You're gonna make sure it doesn't have any ammunition or anything. This is not even functional. This is my Aero Precision Pro that I'm building. I reviewed this one recently. Take a look at my channel if you're interested. You're gonna press this square, tiny square over here, so you're gonna be able to deploy the arm. And then you're gonna place it wherever you prefer. Some people like to place it all the way to the front, that's me. Some people like to place it a little bit back, so it helps with the counterweight in the front and night vision device, your laser, your flashlight. If you're not gonna be running, also you have to keep in consideration if you're gonna be running a magnifier, so you won't be able to place it back here if you know there is a magnifier coming over, so you're gonna be, I prefer on the front, it's up to you. You're big boys and big girls out there. Once you got it in your desired place, you just clamp it back till you feel these snaps. And that's it. If you have any tension, if you cannot open it wide enough, there is a tool that comes in the box over there that already, you're gonna open this a little bit and then you're gonna tighten it a little bit slowly, just a quarter of a turn after you have it properly tightened. The controls on the top, you're gonna see the plus and the minus. That's for the brightness setting. If you press the minus, you hold the minus control for 5 seconds, it's gonna show the second reticle. Let me see if I can get its focus over here. And then if you go on the plus, you can increase its brightness. There you go, that's how you see it. I like to run it as low as possible because I have astigmatism. And the brighter I make it, the more it's gonna be more, what is it called? Blurry for me, for my eyes. But just my eye, it is not the side. Every time most of the time I run it mostly on the red dot function because I also get a better battery life. Let me turn it back with red dot, and that's just what works for me. If you wanna shut it down, you're gonna press both, and that's how you shut it down if you know you're not gonna be using it for a while. More, less brightness, and then if you're gonna do adjustment on the point of aim, point of impact on the top, you're gonna unscrew these covers, which are covered in case you bump it, so there is no way you're gonna move your adjustment after that. You're gonna reverse it, and then you're gonna do your adjustment on elevation on the top as well on the lateral. After you screw it in, I'm not gonna be monkeying around with this because I already have a 0. So if I move it, I'm gonna move my point of impact. On the side, it's gonna be for the adjustment on the windage. Right and left, the same as above. The adjustment is gonna be for 0.5 MOA. The dot on the front is gonna be a 2 MOA dot. It's for a practical shooting. It's gonna be pretty much for close quarter battlefield and like mid-range engagement. So it's something to consider. I'm gonna install this puppy back. This is where you put your CR2032 battery, unscrew it, put it back there. That's it. The lens back covers, they're gonna be from the factory already pre-installed. From the factory, you're gonna have to, if you want, you can leave it. I personally took it out. The only reason I would take the lens cover is if you're gonna be running night vision, so it's gonna be better. What I would highly recommend people to do is to make sure that when you open the lens cover, they're gonna flip down. If you flip over, you're gonna have an obstruction, or the field of view is gonna be like a black spot over here. So you're not gonna be able to see everything around you if you're gonna be using them for like duty or something. The considerations that I would keep in my mind after you buy this one. First of all, this is a 2 MOA dot. If you're gonna be taking shots over 500 yards or meter, you're gonna have to keep in mind that that tiny dot is gonna be the equivalent, oh God, this cold, to approximately 10 inches at those distances. Even though you're gonna be using a magnifier, you won't be able to take accurate shots. I'm not gonna say it in another way, or otherwise my YouTube channel is gonna be banned, but you know what I mean by accurate shots. So you're gonna have to take a torso shot exclusively. You can spend an 8x magnifier, whatever is coming up in the market, but I wouldn't recommend you to go over 4x. That will be, there are also discrepancies between this brand and other producers. As I mentioned before, the objective lens is gonna be 20 millimeter versus the Aimpoint 2, which is only 18 millimeter. So the Aimpoint is smaller. If you're gonna use risers, the base is gonna be elevated. There's gonna be discrepancy between this one and any other brand, so you're gonna have to stick to the magnifier made by Holosun, or do some sort of adjustment on your own. Something to consider as well, if you brighten up all your red dot, it's not gonna be too MOA. Now you won't be able to see it because it's nighttime, but if you, on the sun, on the outside, if you turn this up all the way to the top, it's not gonna be as small as 2 MOA, so your small shots is not gonna be very feasible. Also, when you crank this up all the way, it's gonna be so high that you're gonna see some sort of a halo. There you go, I got it. That is gonna be a little bit glary. It might disturb, it might be distracting for some people. It doesn't affect me, but just to let you know. If you don't wanna see that, you're gonna have to pay almost 3 times what this one cost, just to avoid a little bit of glare. For those with astigmatism, I would highly recommend you to stick only to make the adjustment as the brightness level as lower as possible. It is undeniably a non-American made product. If you look on the bottom, I know a lot of people, they have a lot of beef because they freak out. Oh, Holosun it's made by the Chinese Communist Party. Holosun, if you buy Holosun products, you're gonna be supporting the communism. You know, let me tell you a dirty little secret. All your iPhones out there, they're all made in China. A lot of another little secret, a lot of the drones that are also made for real estate purposes, for wedding, recreational purpose, for whatever you want to use your drone, a lot of them, they were banned in the United States because they were being made in China previously. And out of the sudden, they realized a lot of them, they had spyware, and they were mapping the United States whenever they were being used without users' consent. So for those reasons, a lot of them, they were taken out of the market. So yes, buying something from China might be a type of controversial, and you never know what you might be getting into. But for a lot of people, that's what they can afford. So you can be I would highly recommend an American brand over this one, absolutely. But you all have to keep in mind everybody's different budgets, not what would be the best. You know, that's the first consideration, in my opinion, for everyone. Something that to consider, the big gap in price between this one and the big boys out there, your Aimpoint, your 6 Hour, your EOTech, your other brands out there. It's gonna be when comparing then this one with the water resistant. Yes, I won't be able to deploy myself in an assault team or the water. I won't be able to do the halo jumps that you're gonna be exposing this red dot to abrupt changes in altitude that pretty much they're gonna mess their zero. And I also won't be able to, you know, abrupt changes in temperature when people come out of bunker, they're hiding holes in the middle of the snow in Arctic situation. Yes, this one I would never expose it to those kind of abrupt changes because it's gonna give up on you. But for the majority of the civilians and people out there, I would highly recommend this one, you know. So it's something that I would, you know, to each one, you know, pick what you deserve, pick what you can afford for. Something that I noticed with this mount, and I'm not the first guy that had a problem with one, I'm gonna be replacing this one. The mount on the bottom, it wasn't really aligned both sides. I don't know if I can catch it with the camera. When you close it, it's gonna be tilted, so I'm gonna be replacing for a better one. It's gonna be lighter. I was able to shoot all the time, was able to zero it, but it wasn't aligning. When I lift up the metal side, I realized that it was canted, so I'm gonna be replacing the lower mount for one compatible with any endpoint T2 for my viewers. Is this the best one in the market? No. Is this one that it's within reach of a lot of people for their home defense or hunting or purpose? Yes. Will I recommend it for super duty use? No, definitely I wouldn't. But it's something that a lot of people will be able to afford. As always, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, leave them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with like-minded people. God bless you.